Barnaby Joyce, I want to ask you a general question, if I can, about the agriculture white paper process and the government's response to it. I've seen reports that you didn't get as much as you were hoping for in the structure of it all. In a sort of general sense, if you were Prime Minister, for example, or Deputy Prime Minister, what would you look to do differently? What are the things that you would like to be stronger on if given the opportunity?
If I was the Prime Minister, I would make you the Director of News Corp. I'd start with that. Then look, if I was the Prime Minister, it's just not going to happen. What I always try to do...
I didn't realise that was the Prime Minister's choice.
Well, it helps. But what I would try to do always is to make sure that we get the best deal. And that's whether you're dealing with overseas or dealing within the cabinet process or trying to negotiate. You just stay at the table and bargain as hard as you can. But look what we got. Even farm management bonds doubled from 400,000 to 800,000, and you can offset them against a loan in your place. So you basically get a tax deduction to pay off your property. That's a pretty good deal. $250 million a year at concessional rates. And might I remind you now that the cheapest rate of that at this moment is now 2.71%, cheapest money in town. We did that. Money on the table for farm household allowance to help those who are doing it tough and don't have the capacity to support themselves out west. All these deals, a commissioner in the ACCC to make sure that the small horticultural producers or other small players are dealt with fairly when they're dealing with the big players in town, making sure that we 100% write-off on fences, 100% write-off on water reticulation, so we can refurbish all that irrigation area and get a better return for our nation, write-off over 3 years for silos. This is great stuff. $200 million on biosecurity.
Let me go to a bigger picture though, Barnaby Joyce. I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is I take the view that the National Party in particular needs to be prepared to not be backwards in coming forward, and that if you look at the relationship in recent decades versus previous decades, I've written about this before, that the National Party has become more subservient to the Liberal Party than it should, and that it needs to be a stronger voice on its own within the coalition. Do you take the view that that is something that can change or should change?
Did I mention to you we've got $500 million for dams as well? That's also vitally important. Look, the National Party is always at the business table. It's a business partnership with the Liberal Party, the most successful business partnership in post-Second World War Australia. It always has strong figures that will have to. When you've got a strong National Party and a strong Liberal Party, you've got a strong coalition and a strong nation. And that always has, at times, tensions. That is how the game works. As long as people within that frame respect each other, respect that people come with the motivations of their electorate and of their constituency and bring it to the table, and those discussions go on in such a way as to find a mediated resolution as best you can. At odder times, no resolution is found, and then people have different views. The world doesn't collapse. I think that we need a strong National Party to have a strong nation. I had the choice right at the start. If I wanted to join the Liberal Party, I could have. I chose the National Party because I think it's incredibly important for Australian democracy that it's there. I know it gets ridiculed by the urban elites at times. You accept that as a badge of honour, and you go out and do the business for your people. And if you look what we've done in agriculture, for instance, we